Good evening or good morning, depending on your perspective. It's 12:26 a.m. over here. Today's video is going out to Yaxel from the Plexaholics Facebook group, and it's really just kind of a troubleshooting video to hopefully give him some ideas to explore. His Plex media is on a Synology NAS, but I don't know the model number of it, and he's moved his Plex server recently to a MIDI PC running, what is it? Tiny 11, I think he said, which I had to Google. It's a debloated version of Windows 11. And of course, I'm a Linux guy. This is Pop! OS 22.04 based on Ubuntu 22.04. And if I'm not recording videos here, I'm recording it from my alternate boot of Ubuntu 24.04. So I've got some ideas for Yaxel, but I want to show him how Filebot should work with a Plus model Synology NAS on a modern PC. So here's my DS1520 NAS in the Files window from Linux. Here's my main Plex media share. Now I have a sort library for every type of Plex library. Let's go into this sort library. And here's my main TV show library. And I've recently added, maybe 6 months ago, 5 months ago, changed my custom Filebot expression to start using the TVDB source ID. And I've adjusted Sonar to do the same thing for the series that Sonar brings in. Let me go down to the W's. You can see I haven't worked my way through this far. All right, let's pop into both Will and Grace and Wings. We've got 11 seasons, and this is an older show, so there's 18 episodes in this season. And let's go into Wings, 8 seasons, and there's 24 episodes. This is a two-parter, so there's 23 files. So Yaxel, let's rename both these with my current Filebot expression. So I can right-click, open with other application, choose Filebot. You see everything loaded very quickly. I'll go to my custom expression. All right, Filebot's not sure of the 1 series Wings, and if you just hold your cursor over it, you'll see the air date, which is 1990. That's fine, so I'll select it. And now we'll see how fast pretty fast. That's not a fair test though, because I think this is cached. I flubbed my video and stopped it and started fresh. So let's not use these 2 series. Let's be honest here. Let me try to find something else that... Oh, Weeds has a lot of seasons. I don't need that graphic floating around. What else is close to this? How about Vikings? Not quite as many. So let's get these 2. Let's open them up in Filebot. Okay. Let's use my custom expression. All right, let's hold the mouse over this. First aired in 2013. That's the correct show. Let's go up to the top. All right, so we see how fast it's going down. And actually, all we're going to look for is anything in red, because red means trouble. All right, we're out of the Vikings. We're into Weeds. It's halfway through the 3rd season. And let's double check something. Ducks and Tigers is the episode name. Ducks and Tigers. So we're doing good. And you'll see my custom Filebot expression. Inserts a marker if there's English subtitles that are found. I want to know that right by the file name, and it also inserts media characteristics besides putting the TVDB source ID in just the folder name. So these two series together took a little bit. All right, so weeds intro. So I probably had weeds for a long time. And, you know, honestly, I don't know if there's a special for that. I'll worry about that afterwards. So we'll just let this go. I'll figure that out when I'm done with this video. All right, let's get this back to that level. So we're going to see how long it takes to rename everything. 1232. It's looking for the invalid character to be removed. 374 files. This is going to be less than 30 seconds. And we're done. All right, so I have to refresh. And let me find weeds again. Okay, so now we have the TVDB source ID in the folder. And now we know that there's English subs, at least in this season, embedded. And what was our other show, Vikings? So it's got the TVDB ID number. And my expression handles external subtitles too, as long as it's got the right extension flag. If it already has .sdh or .forced, it'll just pass that through. All right, so no slowdown there at all. So now let's talk about what might be going on. When I first got my original Synology NAS, the DS1019 Plus, my file transfer speeds were slow. So let's do this. Let's take, how many specials we got here? All right, that's pretty good. Let's right click and copy this. Let's right click and open a new tab to home on this local computer. And do I have a temp directory? This is just a marker in case I want to look into one of my other boot drives to know which of the 3 NVMe drives is which operating system. So I'll paste that folder here. And this will tell us the transfer speed before too long. So I'm getting 85.8 megabits per second. It's going to fluctuate a little bit. And to make that equivalent to a speed test, now it's 86. Let's just use 86. Multiply that by 8. And that's like transferring a file in or downloading a file at 688 megabits per second. So this isn't peak. Peak is, I think, it was 115. But this is certainly fast enough from my Synology NAS to this PC or back again. So now let's go into DSM. Well, wrong. I've got my older NAS already pulled up from a previous video. So I might as well use this instead of logging into the newer NAS. So Yaxel, go check control panel, go to network, and let's see. Connectivity, nope. I've got you on a wild goose chase. We don't want to be here. Sorry, file services is where we want to be. So under the SMB tab, click Advanced Settings, and I've got my maximum protocol set for SMB3, minimum SMB1. I need this for Pop! OS. Pop! OS won't see my share from the Synology NAS unless SMB1 is enabled. Ubuntu 24.04 doesn't need SMB. So if I was only running that on my desktop and laptop, I could change to SMB2 as the minimum. So SMB1 is supposedly less insecure. I'm not a networking guy, but it is what it is. So got to be able to have access to my files. And the range is set this way. That's not changeable. That's displayed because of all the other settings. Transport encryption mode is client defined. Server signing status, disable SMB1 signing only. Enable opportunistic locking. Enable SMB2 file leasing. Enable SMB3 directory leasing. Apply to home and home shared folders only. And this is checked. Enable SMB durable handles. That's all I had to do. And it increased my transfer speed. So let me give you one more tip for a Synology NAS. And that is I'm trying to think of his name now. Will at SpaceRex. So Will's SpaceRex YouTube channel is a fabulous resource for anybody who owns a Synology NAS, especially new users. You can search his channel. He's got new Synology NAS setup videos, so you get everything right, and he's just one hell of a resource. He doesn't really get into Plex much. I think he's got a couple Plex videos, but I'll show you how to install Plex on a Synology NAS in a Docker container if you want. All that kind of stuff is easy. So check this out. Watch one of his new setup videos and make sure you fold everything he says for both security and to have the best performance on your NAS. Let me know how you make out. But that's how fast Filebot should run on a Synology NAS, assuming it's a plus model NAS. Now, a non-plus model NAS isn't going to have as fast of a processor, but I think we're only talking about file transfer speed, so you still should be good. Anyway, thanks for watching and happy Plexing.